give all praise, Yahbashim Yashab Bashim Rakakadash. This relates to more news. This is basically about Zelensky, President Trump calling out Zelensky. President Trump said in a statement X, think of it modestly successful comedian Vladimir Zelensky talked the United States of America into $350 million to go into the war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States gets nothing back. Why didn't Sleepy Joe demand equalization in this war? Far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean of separation. On the top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money what we send him is missing. Question mark. And he refuses to have elections. Is very low in Ukrainian polls. And the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. Well, he did play Biden like a fiddle, man. But Biden, you know what I mean? Zelensky gonna take advantage of it. If they foolish enough to keep giving them money, Zelensky gonna open his hand and take it. You know, the dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast. He's not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating at the end of the war with Russia. Something all admit only Trump and the administration can do. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. And I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered, and millions have unnecessarily died, so it continues. So he's blaming pretty much Zelensky for the war. And he was praising Putin. And there's another statement talking about Zelensky stop, pretty much catering up to Zelensky saying the Trump stop catering up to Putin, pretty much kissing his ass. So, and Trump and Zelensky, you look at the body language, they really don't like each other. Zelensky's more favorable with Biden, than he is with Trump, because, certain things he ain't gonna get away with Trump. And Biden, he will, that's just observation, personally. But, and then you have a report here, the vice president is saying, the vice president is saying right here, I'm just going to read it real quick. Mr. President, Ukraine did not start this war. The Russians launched an unprovoked and brutal invasion, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives. Road to peace must be built on truth. So, Scripture talks about Sirach 5 and 15. Never be not ignorant of a great matter or small, man. This was I was reading earlier right here. This was goes to that. This is a Fox report. So next week goes into 4 years relating to this war. 2021, I believe February it started. And on that report, he's also blaming NATO, what I mean? So that goes to the division. Scripture talks about, go to Matthew's 12 real quick. Get it real fast. 12 let's see, 12:25 GNT. Get it from a different version. Twelve, 25, and 26. Yahusha knew what they were thinking, and he said unto them, any country that divides itself into groups which fight each other will not last very long, and that goes to not, they will not stand. That long goes to not standing. And any town or family that divides itself into groups which fight each other will fall apart. So Satan divided against us, Satan, it will not stand but fall, man. And that's what that goes to, man. And that's what's happening. You're seeing the divide between Trump and NATO. You know what I mean? You're seeing that division, man. You're seeing the fracturing of it, the separation of it, man. Even the sifting of it, beginning, precursors of that. Go to Revelations 17th chapter. And the 10 horns you saw in the beast will hate the prostitute which goes to the whore, and they will take away everything she has and leave her naked. So they're going to strip her, leave her naked, man. And they will eat her flesh and destroy her with a fire. And that goes to the nations turning on her, against her, and ultimately destroying her, man. You have another report of, let me see, I got another report. This is news report, by the way. And 2 years ago, Trump was praising Putin, calling him a very intelligent, that was back in 2022. There's a short video on that. There's one here talking about that. Various others. So he's pretty much riding the bandwagon of Putin, man. Now this one here talks about I'm just going to read the information. Russia gets a green light for the first naval base in Africa. A major geopolitical development. Russia is set to establish its first naval base in Africa, I believe it's Sudan, securing footholds in Sudan's Red Sea coast. This long delayed but highly strategic move will expand Russia's maritime influence in one of the world's most vital waterways, challenging the Western dominance and reshaping the region's power dynamics. After years of political and military instability in Sudan, which stalled the initial agreement, Sudanese foreign minister Ali Youssef Ali al-Sharif confirmed during a visit to Moscow that there are now no obstacles impeding the deal. With the confirmation, Russia will significantly bolster its presence in the Indo-Mediterranean region for strategically good location for, for different things, And plus, Russia with the African countries, so, building an alliance with them. So it's a good political, geopolitical move for Russia. What else? Russia's interest in Sudan as a naval outpost dates back to 2017. Then Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir first proposed allowing a Russian base in Sudan coastline during a meeting in Sochi. By 2020, an agreement was formalized permitting Russia to station up to 4 naval ships, including nuclear power vessels in Port Sudan for 25 years. So that's information relating to that. This is New African Channel. That's what that goes to, information relating to that. And you have another one. Trump is relating to cutting aid to whatchamacallit. That's another one. This was, I guess, a few days ago. Can the South Africans survive Trump's aid cut? Secret formula which changes everything in the stunning escalation of tension between Washington and Pretoria. United States President Trump has officially frozen aid to South Africa, citing the country's controversial land expropriation laws and shifting foreign policy. The move outlined in an executive order signed on Friday marks the critical move in the U.S. South Africa relation. But the questions remain: can South Africa withstand the impact of Trump's aid cuts? Trump orders denounced South Africa's Expropriation Act as a shocking disregard for citizens' rights, arguing that it enables the government to seize land from white African farmers without compensation. That's what that goes to, man. It's the real reason. According to Trump's law, is part of the broader pattern of hateful rhetoric and policies that target specific racial groups. But it is really about the human rights, or is it Washington using economical leverage to push its own geopolitical agenda? And that would be more it. You know what I mean? That was just a guise relating to, human rights and racial aspect, but really to push his own agenda, man. And because they're in the position of power, they can, you know what I mean? That's his observation. So, and there could be a little bit of both, you know what I mean? And the South African alliance with Russia, you know what I mean? So, so Trump could see that as a threat, man. And there's a report saying BRICS is dead. But, so Trump said that a few days ago in a report. It was a Petro Liniova, you know what I mean? But BRICS is not dead because it has, as far as GDP, which is the global domestic product, is about 42%, getting close to 50%, and about 55% of the population. Basically, what I'm saying is the nations are growing to join in line with BRICS. So it's growing. It's not far from dead. In fact, it's expanding. It's expanding and increasing, man. So that was another thing he was saying, in one report. But so this goes to the same channel, you know what I mean, talking about that. And you have what else you have? This is just news, you know what I mean? Then you see it relating to a lot of layoffs in these departments, veterans, Department of VA, thousands of workers being laid off, different areas of the Department of Veterans. You know what I mean? Different agencies. There was a threat that, warning, or dire warning relating to the DEI programs. If you don't comply, get rid of them. You know what I mean? Trump was saying they'll cut funding relating to that. So a lot of entities and organizations are being funding and cuts happening, man. So and you're seeing the divide of these countries, you know what I mean? And scripture says, you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See ye be not troubled, for nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, but there shall be pestilent earthquakes in different places, for we in the times of sorrows, man. So you seeing nation against nation, man. You know what I mean? You seeing the division, you know what I mean? So this was just reports. See, Trump mocks Europe for its threat to the U.S. Then gives a big warning days after Vance's speech. This is a day ago. This is Hindustan Times report. So you seeing the division relating to NATO, U.S. I believe U.S. the report say U.S. is thinking about pulling out of NATO. You know what I mean? I seen that somewhere on the report. So, you know. And so a lot of things are going on, man. You know what I mean? This is just something short. I hope it helps relating to information. I want to give all praise, Yahbashim Yoshua, Bashim Rakakadash. There's a report here. Delta offers $30,000 to each passenger on a plane that crashed that crashed on the runway, which turned upside down. You know what I mean? In Toronto, outside. What was that? It was a place, Mississauga, Canada. It started with an M. So that's what that is. It's just a few reports. So I hope it helps with information. Oh, praise Yahbashim Yashab Bashim Rakakadash. Sayah Washawa.